Good morning, good afternoon, and or good night to wherever you are whenever you see this video. So, I don't think I've posted since I went to the memorial service of one of my former students. But I had a dentist appointment yesterday. I had to get my wisdom tooth removed. And, I don't know what happened, but when I was injected in my gums, first of all, when I got to the orthodontist, they took my blood pressure, and my blood pressure was like high. And I don't usually have blood pressure that runs that high. So they were asking me, do you have high blood pressure? I'm like, no. Maybe there's some anxiety. They're like, are you afraid of, getting shots or something? I'm like, I've had injections before when I had a filling, getting ready to get a filling put in my tooth, but no. So they had to take my blood pressure a couple of times, and it eventually went down a little bit, but not significantly. But it was down enough for them to begin injecting. Then when they started injecting, all of a sudden, I was so overwhelmed with emotions that I was just crying and I was shaking. And the orthodontist assistant was like patting me, and I just could not keep it under control. I'm like, what in the world is going on? I need to process my emotions. Anyway, ended up getting the tooth extracted, and that was just yesterday. So it's it's doing well, a little sore, but yeah. On a lighter note, so I was teaching my 11th graders today, and one of my students was sitting there, and he's like, I'm like, what are you smelling? He says, I think my cat peed on my coat. I'm like, and you don't mind verbally sharing that with us? He's like, oh, I don't care. I'm like, okay. So he leaves out of the classroom, goes to his locker, gets cologne, and sprays it all over his coat. And then he asks his classmates, do I still smell like cat pee? I'm like, most students will be like, I don't want anybody to know. I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to take off this jacket. I'm like, aren't you just going to take off the jacket? He's like, no, because then I'll be cold. He says, my cat really likes me and he marks his territory, so he pees on me. I'm like, well, maybe you need to smell your clothes before you come to school. Anyway, as usual, I have a lot of work to do. Friday was the last day of the semester, and I have a lot of projects that I need to grade. So I probably need to get up off of this recording